Hey guys, Martin here. We're still here for August 2017, and this is kind of a difficult one for me for a couple of reasons. I'm going to try and look you dead in the eye, even though it's not really an eye, it's the lens of my camera, but I feel like I have a tendency to look away from the camera in recent videos that I've been doing. I've been noticing me doing that a lot more, and it's not an intentional thing, and it's not something that I think is necessarily bad, but I want to focus on addressing you, and I've gotten feedback from people in person that tell me that looking into the camera tends to make them feel like this is more of a direct connection with you guys, and even if it's not directly to you specifically, I still want you to feel like I am talking to you specifically, because in many ways I am. In many ways this is a very personal experience, even though I am putting it out there onto the internet, and obviously literally anyone can see it. But if you are in the situation where you find yourself to be experiencing depression or anxiety or any kind of mental downness, I want you to feel like this is something that you and I can share together individually, because it can be overwhelming to think that there are, multiple people. I don't know if you have this. I have this a lot, but whenever I feel like I've got multiple people looking at me or talking to me or even paying attention to me, I feel very overwhelmed, especially when I'm talking about personal stuff. And that's a big problem I've had to sort of deal with over the last decade or so, because the more I do this stuff, the more people I come into contact with. And to put it into perspective, going to like a convention or going to a group meetup or something, I always try and focus on the one person that's in front of me. I get really thrown off when I get into conversations with like 2, 3, 4 more people, because sometimes you'll just get into a little crowd and I'll just sort of slowly back away because this is too much. But whenever I'm dealing with a crowd of people that are gathering around me, I try to just look at the person in front of me and take it one person at a time, because that's the only way I can do it. So that's kind of one of the reasons I want to look you in the eye while I'm doing this, because it's easier for me, and I hope it makes it easier for you to deal with or to understand or listen to. I am on new medication. That's the big. It's kind of good news, bad news. This one, I'm on new medication. I'm on a new antidepressant. I went to see my psychiatrist, and a lot of things got done. I was put onto. It's a new thing called, I think it's duloxetine, and it's relatively new in the field of medicine. I've not done too much research into it. I just know that it's what he recommended because of some of the effects depression are having on me. And well, before I move on and talk about the effects that that's had on me, I should explain why I've been put onto new medication. And this is really tough for me. And I've been off my meds for the better part of the year, and that wasn't something that was recommended to me. It was a choice I made by myself, and it was something I didn't do intentionally at first. It was not something I did with the intention of it was a mistake initially. It was something that I forgot to do. I forgot to take my meds one day, and then I forgot. It just slipped my mind for a few days, to the point that when I realized that I hadn't been taking my antidepressants, I realized that had happened, and I realized that I was feeling a little more normal and a little more okay. And to me, foolishly, that meant that I would be okay without my medication, and that I wouldn't have to rely on it, certainly to the extent that I was using it. And I made the decision by myself to stop taking my medication. and that turned out to be a huge mistake. Nothing went horribly wrong. I hate to say that because it was ultimately wrong of me to do it without talking to my psychiatrist or even my therapist or anybody who could have instructed me differently or could have warned against it, or anyone who could have just had a dialogue with me about it and the effect that it might have on me. And it was something I did thoughtlessly. It was something I did simply because I wanted to feel like a normal person again, because I felt like I'd lost that aspect of myself. And when I say that, understand that I know that that is a mistake, that is an incorrect point of view, that is an incorrect feeling, that is a feeling that came from somewhere kind of selfish and kind of misguided and emotional and stupid. I don't know if this is something you've ever gone through. I've talked to people who have done stuff like this in the past, and in my head, I told myself that wouldn't be something I would ever do because, why would you just stop taking your medication? But it's something I ended up doing. It's something whether it was intentional or not to stop taking my medication, it became intentional to no longer continue taking it. I kept taking my anxiety medication because I kept having panic attacks, and it helped me deal with intimidating situations. I kept taking my colitis medication. I kept going to get my Remicade infusions because that is something I need in order to function. Having said that, the antidepressants was something I needed in order to function for a long time. And when I stopped taking them, the upside from my perspective was that it made me not feel like I needed to rely on medication to be normal, which is the word I'm going to keep using incorrectly, because here's the thing. Being on medication, no matter what kind of medication it is, it doesn't stop you from being a normal person. It doesn't mean that you're abnormal. I had a conversation with my good friend Katie where she explained that so many people, way more than you would think, every day, like everywhere, on medication of some sort, and a lot more people than you would realize are on some sort of antidepressant just to get through the day, just to get through whatever experience that they're going through. And for me to look at myself on the meds and say, well, this means you're not normal, I want to go back to being normal, that was misguided. That was a misstep. That was I took a step off the path that I was going down, a path that had a very clear trajectory, and I wandered off into the woods. I wandered off the beaten path, and I thought, hey, I know a shortcut, I'll just go this way. And it didn't work out. You'll have noticed, certainly I'm sure, in recent We're Still Here's, I seem to be starting to feel better, and I was starting to feel like I could cope a bit more. I don't know if I don't want to say that was a result of stopping taking the medication. I'm sure it was a combination of things. I'm sure a lot of it was just learning to cope through practice and through, the methods that I've learned through therapy and through all the other, indicators that I've gone out of my way to learn. Having said that, a lot of the down mood that I've been feeling could have been completely avoided. Sorry for knocking the camera there. Could have been completely avoided by actually taking my meds, taking my antidepressants, and actually following through on the promise that I'd made to myself and to my doctor. I made a huge mistake. It was a huge, huge mistake trying to do that without the thought of what the long-term effect would be. And I paid a very unfortunate price for it. my mood sank significantly, and it could have been something I kept under control if I'd actually been doing the thing I was supposed to be doing the thing that, or even just communicating that this stuff was happening as a result of not being on my medication. So I immediately, after having a emotional conversation with a number of people, my wife included, and my psychiatrist ultimately, I'm back on antidepressants. I'm on the duloxetine, and here's the good news: I'm feeling considerably better. I'm feeling a great deal more like myself. I'm feeling like a normal person, a completely normal person, and that's the sadly strangest part, is that this feeling of being normal feels abnormal to me as a result of what I did to myself by intentionally trying to do this by myself, to shoulder this huge dark weight on only my human shoulders, and with little assistance. I tried to do that all by myself, and it was a stupid, blind, short-sighted decision that I made. But the new meds are helping. That is the ultimate end to what has happened, is that the decision to go back on my meds, on new meds even, has introduced me to this new feeling that I haven't had in years, of feeling completely okay. Like, it's remarkable. It feels unreal to me that I'm waking up first thing in the morning and I'm 100% ready to go. I'm 100%, prepared to face whatever is coming. And that hasn't been a thing that I've been able to say for a long time. And I could have been able to say it sooner if if I'd been more intelligent, if I'd been wiser, if I hadn't been an idiot. And I was an idiot. I made a huge mistake that could have resulted in something extremely damaging, not just for me. That decision I made wasn't just something that would have affected me. So please understand, if you've, and I'm not telling you one way or another how to approach this. I don't want you to ever watch one of these videos and think that I'm telling you, this is how you deal with depression, this is how you solve this problem, because there is no one-size-fits-all solution for this. There is no one way to do it, because I've seen so many people who have been on medication, who have been to see a psychiatrist, who have been, who have been working on this for a great portion of their life, and they're not through it. They're not through the woods. They can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel, But it's there. It's still there. But my point is that if you've ever felt like doing something in regards to your depression, if you've ever felt like taking a step that could result in a change in the way you're dealing with it, in your methods, either medication or, therapy, or any of the self-help programs that you may have taught yourself, if you're going to change anything, communicate, talk to people, do research, make sure that the decision you're making is something that isn't going to ultimately do damage or ultimately make things worse. Because it could. And I could have done something really awful. It could have ended really badly. It could have done something significantly damaging to me and everyone in my close personal life. And if I hadn't had to make the decision to return to going back on my meds, I don't know what would have happened. That would have been the mistake. That would have been the problem. That would have been the thing that was abnormal. So as normal as it felt to stop taking them, it didn't fix the problem. It just made me feel different. It just made me feel less less like a patient, and that's okay. It's okay to be a patient. It's okay to need help. It's okay to need help. And it's really difficult for me to say that sometimes and feel that and mean it. But it is okay. These videos wouldn't exist if that wasn't true. I'm really sorry if I've let you down. I know that some of you are probably watching this thinking that, you know, I've made a horrible decision. Either way, like, some of you may be sad that I'm back on the meds, but I know a lot of you are probably sadder that I tried to stop taking them, that I did that to myself, that I made that decision. And I can't apologize enough. All I can really do is promise to see this through, and is promise to make every decision that is best for me and best for my life and best for those around me. And I only ask that you do the same for you. That's all I can ask. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of everything. But make sure you make it with the knowledge and the communication that is required for you to be certain that it is the right choice. Because it's not a bad thing to go off your meds if you feel like you can live without them. You need to be sure. You need to talk to the right people. You need to talk to the people who put you on the meds to make sure that it is the right call and that you're ready. One day I might not need medication at all, but it wasn't when I made the choice. It wasn't that day. Because ultimately it just ended up happening all over again. But I'm doing significantly better now, and that ultimately is what I hope we all take from this, is that there is a way to fix these problems, that there is a way to feel better, that there is a way to heal. It's just hard to find, and it's hard to believe in. But whether we believe in it or not, it's real, and it's possible. It's possible to have our lives back. I'm going to see a therapist. I'm seeing a therapist every other week, at least every 2 weeks. I'm seeing them on the 15th of this month, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's been a while since I've seen a therapist, and that's a positive. That's a constructive thing. That's a constructive choice. I'm trying to make a lot of those. It's been a difficult month, but difficult isn't impossible. I hope you're doing okay. I'll see you next month. Take care, okay?